Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones. Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast where we get to the heart of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Sickening Crunch Mummert.
I'm Gerald Christopher Porter.
And with us again for some reason is our old friend, Professor Christy Porter. Welcome back, Christy.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
You call her Dr. Christy.
Yeah.
I will. We're here to talk about minute 92 of Temple of Doom, which begins with Shorty about to climb up the water bucket elevator and ends with Shorty just wailing on a kid like you would not believe with his elbow. Almost kills that kid.
Have you guys noticed that Pat Roach is a Hummer slugger? He's humming. He's got at the beginning of this minute, he's standing on Indy's heart, and it's just like heart grossness everywhere, and the whole movie is battered heart disgust.
Yeah.
And while he's doing it, like if you listen to it, he's humming. Yeah, he goes.
Oh my God.
He goes. I think he's like, and you know what? I guarantee he's got like his tongue sticking out of the side of his mouth, like he's concentrating.
Yeah, like Linus writing a letter to Santa Claus or something.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. He's one of those guys who's thinking real hard about something, and he's like, wow, he's.
Oh my gosh! Now I have to go back and see if he hums when he's slugging him in the propeller scene. No, he's talking, right? He's talking in that, but perhaps he hums. He's a humming slugger.
He's a Hummer slugger.
He's just he's a happy man. He loves his life. He loves
He's
his
doing
work.
what he loves. Yeah.
I feel like we could have a self-help book written by him in either of these movies, and it would
That's
really
true.
Yeah, we could live in the moment a lot more.
Find your inner scrap chap.
Yeah.
Find your inner scrap.
And beat the hell out of him.
How to beat friends and influence people.
So yeah, he hums, and then Indy reaches up and twists that pointed shoe in his ankle, and you just hear this disgusting, sickening breaking sound of his ankle breaking.
Yeah.
And this movie, so much of this movie is so much more violent and visceral because of what Ben Burt puts in, and that might be the worst of all.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Which,
Mr.
I
Burt.
gotta say, I don't totally buy. I don't see Indiana Jones, especially in like this depleted condition he's in with the knives in his back and stuff. I don't see him being able to like even move that foot. He's like Pat Roach is standing on that foot. Like all his weight is on that foot. I don't see him moving that foot at all, let alone breaking his ankle or anything.
See, but I have a theory about this. See, again, I think we see that Pat Roach is suffering from a torn anterior talofibular ligament. And it's just probably his years playing rugby back, when he was an Anglican.
That's true.
Yeah.
And either that or his ankle's made of fortune cookies.
Oh, Jerry.
Because it's
Well, that's just silly.
well, but I mean, no, I mean in this case it's probably biscuits because he's British,
Yeah.
right?
It's
Probably, yeah.
It's a biscuit.
those nib knobs. What are those things called? Those cookies over there? One nibble in your
Yeah.
knob? Yeah.
Or are they hib hobs?
Oh, maybe.
Oh,
I love that
Midnight.
just everybody, if anybody thinks anything at all in comments, it's got to have something to do with their ethnic background. Like his ankles are made of hip hobs.
well, that's fitting with the movie now, ain't it?
Totally.
Everybody's motivated by
Biscuit and hip hop
That's
and
right.
fortune
Sure.
cookies.
ethnicity explains all in this movie.
It does.
Right.
Well, I love that Willie throws this beautiful arcing curveball. She's been chucking rocks this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I keep thinking that she would be a good pitcher. She wouldn't throw a good fastball, but she'd be a good control pitcher. not many people will get this, but Paul Sullivan, you'll appreciate this. She's the Barry Zito of the Indiana Jones universe.
Totally.
And just like Barry Zito, she annoys a lot of people, but in the end, I think everybody loves her.
You think she's throwing like knucklers?
Yeah, or it's just like this big sweeping curve.
It's like a change up or something.
Yeah, she throws. She's a control pitcher. She'll throw pretty accurately, but it's not gonna do a lot of damage if she hits you with it.
Like Mary Hatch in It's a Wonderful Life. She throws that perfect pitch to break that window.
Oh. Well.
Because she tosses this rock, and it's a beautiful, curve.
And she hits him, right?
Yeah. Well, I think she barely misses him, but it's pretty close.
Oh. Yeah, it glances his leg or something like that.
Okay.
And she's been doing that off and on for the last couple of minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, now he has a torn ACL, and he has a torn, a broken crunch. Right?
Yeah.
So
an anterior talofibular ligament.
Yeah, so she just finishes him off.
Yeah. I don't know. Would it be possible to do that? I thought maybe it could be if you really focused. Yeah, the foot thing. If you really focused, and maybe Indy's humming too.
Yeah.
He's not a hummer, Jer. Come on.
He's not a
pull yourself
hummer
together. No.
That's true.
I can't get over these shoes, though, Christy. Like, you brought up these shoes. I can't get past them.
Yeah, now that we know how delicate his ankles are, they're probably support shoes. They're probably custom made,
Well, it's like a Ren Fair. Like he went to the Ren Fair store and he bought this costume, and it's like you buy it for fashion rather than form, and he didn't get the right boots.
Wow.
Oh yeah. And they've got buttons on the sides. He's got little button boots. I don't know why he's got little button boots, but they're very fancy. And you would think, if you're running around in a mine, you really wouldn't wear your best boots unless it's sacrifice day. In which case, you might.
It was.
Which it was.
Sacrifice day.
His favorite turban and his bright red sash, his best one, and his little button boots. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that this guy would like that anybody was talking about his button boots. He'd be furious if he knew we were talking about his button boots. I almost feel bad about it.
We call him as we see him.
I think maybe his mom sent him, and he's wearing them because he feels guilty.
Yeah.
And she's like, I know about your corns. You're gonna.
She's the only one who understands him.
And your little noodly ankles. Yeah. Now, something I noticed in this is that his fancy red sash appears and disappears. Anybody else see that?
No.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Different angles, because he's moving quite a bit around on that conveyor belt, and it's there. It's not there. It's there. It's not there.
Could it not be like just behind him or something, like whipping around and?
Except that it's trailing off him, kind of like a toilet paper roll. Now, see, I'm being disrespectful here.
He would hate that too.
He would really, really hate that. But it is
not toilet
ultimately paper. No, it's a lovely sash, lovely.
Wait a minute. Maybe that's just what they use to wipe in the bathroom.
All right.
And you nailed it.
All
it's
right.
just trailing off of him and nobody could tell him because they were afraid. See, that's what happens when you're a bully. You walk out of the restroom and you're trailing that toilet paper, and they're like, I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to tell him. Well, at second 21, we have the most disgusting part of this entire movie.
Oh, really?
Well,
it's really hard to qualify.
Yeah, that's true. It's like
so for me, the low point of the most disgusting point is the spit in Indy's face.
The spit in Indy's face is the most disgusting part. All right.
For me, I don't know.
Okay, we'll do a round robin, see how everybody feels.
I know that mine is not the only opinion, and some people are fine with spit.
There's something just Pat Roach is literally stomping on Indy's bruised heart pulp. Yeah. Like he's, just turning grapes into wine. And it wouldn't have bothered me so much except he already gave him that cardiac arrest punch.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where Indy did that sucking breathing and
yeah.
I mean, it's just I can't watch his heart take any more poundings.
Yeah.
And his scream here is just, he does it, it's another one of those.
Yeah.
It's more like a yell, but still with like a lot of like a warbling bellow in it. And it's like he's trying to swallow his own tongue while he's screaming or something.
He's trying to it's like he's trying to hit every vowel and sometimes Y.
And sometimes Y. That's correct.
In the yell, Pete, what do you think is the most disgusting part of the movie?
Well, I actually have a note. It's really funny you say that because I have a note here at the end where it's right when he's getting close to the roller and his head's right next to the roller and he's got this blood curdling scream. And in my notes it actually says most sickening moment of the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
We're on the same page here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, can I just, I know, movies have their trickery and stuff and their editing and everything and stuff and angles and stuff. Indy's head is way closer to the wheel at second 47 than it is at second 51. No matter what angle you're from or whatever lens you're using, they absolutely cheat that. And it bothered me as a kid and it bothers me now.
Yeah.
And it's much like the Willie very close to the flames.
Yeah, that's exactly
very close
to
the lava pit. She's like way too close to the lava pit.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a line where you can be like, oh my gosh, it's so close. Oh, she might be dead. But then they cross that line a bunch of times in this movie. Like, oh my God, he's about to get his head crushed. Well, he's almost about to almost get his head crushed.
But he's yelling, but he's still got a few more yells. So wait, I need to go back to the punch, the first punch that the sick cardiac punch that Pat Roach gives Indy, and then he yells and so forth. Now, of course, that is Pat Roach's signature move, right? And it actually made me think, and I wrote it down, whether or not that, because that shows up in the propeller scene, whether or not this is a Pat Roach fever dream. So, yeah. So
this is like his tough guy fantasy of like, what if I was like a slave driver in some mine somewhere? With a turban and red sash.
And then
button boots.
Sash, no sash. That's right.
Button boots. I'm tired of being Anglican.
No, wait, just so we don't get letters, does he actually give Indy that punch in Raiders? The cardiac arrest punch?
Sure.
I believe you. I just can't picture it. I can't remember it.
Well, he gives him the one in the lower lip thing.
Yeah, he wails on him. I mean, we know that much.
Yeah.
He buckles his legs at one time. Yeah, that's disturbing.
Yeah.
So you're saying that's a lip punch and not a heart punch?
Well, I think he feels it. I mean, he punches him in the mouth, but he feels it in his heart. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, like when Pat Roach gets hurt in the leg and then he grabs his head. On the top of his head.
Something like that. Sure.
Well, what's the most disgusting part of the movie for you, Chris?
Most disgusting. You're gonna have to get back to me on that.
The kissy parts.
No. I'm good with that.
Okay.
I know what it is. It's the parts where we are wailing on children. So, it's just unnecessary.
Like when they're whipping the kids?
Yeah. Whipping the kids, or when they have short round, knocking the stuffing out of the Maharaja.
Yeah.
It's just disturbing.
So adult on kid or kid on kid, it's all disturbing to you?
Yeah. It's all disturbing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on, that's funny.
It is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Look,
you're right. What am I talking about over here?
We've been riding these rails real close.
I understand.
It's like, grab the brake so we don't fly off the track. I love how, speaking of disgusting, I love how Shorty saves the day by giving the Maharaja a myocardial contusion.
He does.
Yeah.
Wish he had thought of it, earlier. Took him a while to figure that one out, to give him the elbow in the chest.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get a signature Ben Burt cannon or gunshot sound when he punches. It's a very soft sound, and I was wondering if that's because it's Shorty and he's a kid, or why they chose that.
I think he has a different file of kid punches that are like, pillows hitting each other or something. Kittens being thrown into clouds.
I like that Shorty garrots. He almost garrots him with his arm. Like he kind of comes up thuggy style behind him and grabs him by the neck.
He does.
Kind of giving him a taste of his own medicine.
But God, that elbow to the chest really kills to watch at the very, very last second of this minute.
Yeah.
That's violent.
One of the things that I have from that in those seconds is that they're fighting and so forth, and Maharaja is still trying to reach the doll, right? So the doll has been knocked to the side, and I was wondering if Maharaja keeps reaching for the doll because the Maharaja just needs to be right. He needs to be the smartest little in the room. And, you get that from when he controls the room during Monkey Brain Dinner, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's here to teach these grown-ups a lesson. You know, the British, the Americans, the Hindu, whoever it is, Chatterlal, he doesn't have to listen to nobody. He's the Maharaja. And really, you know, he's like, I'm not going to let this guy live because there's, you know. So he's trying to get it back for that reason when he actually should be spending his time throwing Short Round over the side of the ledge there.
Yeah.
That's
a good point.
So it's he fails because of his hubris
Yeah.
and arrogance.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good.
This peasant boy is going to upset his plans.
Well, he's pretty focused on that doll.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to know why the Maharaja, you know, moves the pin at all, kind of like what you mentioned last minute, Jer. Why doesn't he just leave the pin in? You know, is it because there's just more sadism to be had here? Because we're 18 minutes in now. and does he prefer to see a good fight? He's not really paying attention to the fight, you know, but he lets Indiana Jones walk away, and then he you know, pokes him with the pin, and he really turns it around all around, and then he takes it out again, and so forth. Or maybe he's just a disorganized thinking tween here. He's maybe his frontal lobe just isn't as developed as it might be. We don't know.
Maybe the puberty chemicals are kind of mixing him up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it seems like when he pulls it out, I wonder if that inflicts a pain too. Like sort of a searing thing when you rip it out.
Yeah.
Well, we don't get any roars.
Well, we'll see later on. That would make sense to me. Like if he actually pulled a knife out of a person, yes, absolutely. But I wonder if that's the case here. Because he always he runs. Like the second the knife comes out, he's like running down the thing again, and then he jabs him again. He's immediately down again.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a relief when it comes out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, the Maharaja doesn't have his own theme song, does he?
No, he has to borrow Shorty sometimes, actually.
Exactly. So
Really?
you should never go up against someone who has their own theme song.
Right.
Obviously.
Yeah, especially if you don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And he can absolutely hear it in the movie. He knows it's not just for us, the audience. They have to hear it in the movie.
Yeah, well, now, by this time, I was watching this minute thinking of what you said, Tom, last minute, and it's like, oh my God, it's more dun 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 dun. Yeah.
Finish the sentence, for God's sake.
I like when you see this doll lying here with this hat pin in it. You can see like the little whip in his hand too.
It's hysterical.
Yep. Teeny,
and a little
tiny
leather jacket and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys notice it has 2 eyes and a slanted mouth?
No. Really?
Go look at the doll. It has
Oh,
2
good.
eyes and a mouth that is a little slanted. It's
thought it was
second
faceless.
42.
It would look like
alright.
rakish Indiana Jones if it didn't.
Wow.
It's actually crazy. It took me a second to realize it.
When I was looking up, trying to find something on why there would be a doll in this movie at all, and of course there is no reason there would be a doll in this movie. I did run across where you can put ricin seeds, the castor bean seeds for the eyeballs, and to make it that much spookier. But of course, there shouldn't be any doll in this, and there shouldn't be a doll with a teeny tiny little hat. I mean,
And a teeny tiny little whip.
I mean, the whip they actually got, and maybe the pants, and and he has a little messenger bag. You know, they got the accessories pretty good, except for this
thing straight out of the
stupid
box.
hat. It's not a fedora. It's obviously a pork pie. I don't know what kind of schlock that is. You know,
It's a Norman Lear voodoo doll.
it is. He got lucky.
This makes me wonder again if someone from the village, from the shaman's village, is in on this, because no one in the palace other than Chatterlal has seen him in this outfit, have they?
That's
Oh
right.
my gosh.
Like in time to make this doll?
That's right.
Gosh, that's a really good point. Well, wait.
Yeah.
Well, he was wearing the full gear when he went to get the stones and stuff, and when he actually got captured, right?
Yeah, but that in that case they would have made the doll in like an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we don't know.
That's true. We don't know
how long he was tied up and stuff.
Yeah.
The bottom line is, it's silly. And the hat will not ever make me not laugh.
If you look at his head, like the doll's head, it's got these. It almost looks like it almost like it was molded with like a ball peen hammer looking thing.
It does.
Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's got
Yeah.
these little tiny circles.
Yeah.
Like all around the head, and I was looking at it, I'm like, is it a nut? That somebody like kind of hammered in a little bit to,
or is it like a piece
eyes?
of wood that's like kind of shaved? Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Right,
the way
like
into
maybe
a
shaved.
circle.
Yeah.
I can't tell what his head is.
And is the hat wood also? Because the hat kind of looks like it's
No.
made out of wood too, maybe.
Maybe.
Well,
So it doesn't fall off. It's all one
How does
piece.
this make any sense? Then the only place that the Maharaja can actually stick a pin anywhere is just in the thoracic cavity. I mean, he can't he can't give him an itch on the back of his head or like right between the shoulder blades or anything. If it's wood,
There is another place he could have stabbed him that surprisingly he didn't. And I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Which I think, in true 8-year-old fashion, I'm a little surprised they didn't go there.
they were spending all their energy on the violence. They really couldn't go for anything else.
If you look at the head though, it does look like it's got singe marks
Uh-huh.
from that.
Oh, yeah. That's
like
good.
the scene where the Maharaja burned him and.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have, as a kid that used to skateboard in the late 80s, this hat pin looks exactly like a 1980s Powell Peralta skateboard design of Mola Ram.
Wow.
Like, if you ever saw Tony Hawk or Rodney Mullen, like, they always had a skull of something. And this hat pin looks like a skull of Mola Ram, because he's got the little Mola Ram hat, and he's got the necklace, but he's a skull.
That's cool.
And I could definitely see this on the bottom of the Maharaja skateboard.
Punk.
Yeah.
I can't believe they didn't use some sort of Maharaja skateboard in this movie.
Now that you say that, I'm shocked that there wasn't that scene in here.
That they just did like some makeshift, like, Legolas kind of thing. Like he's on some board.
Yeah,
going
exactly.
down a thing.
Like going down the lava or something,
Yeah.
or down the mine shaft.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Clearly.
We dodged a bullet.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for me for 92. Does anyone have anything else?
Oh, wait a second.
Oh.
Oh.
Wait a
What's
minute.
this?
This just coming in.
What are you talking about, Jerry? Christy's sitting right there.
It's a slightly. It's.
Oh, yeah.
This just in from Mimi Porter.
What?
Good thing I brought my poking brooch.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Mimi, from far away. Please, as soon as we're done, telegraph her back and send our thanks and regards.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jerry, before you do that, could you please tell the nice people where they can come chat with us online and talk to us about stuff?
Why, of course. They should come to the Indiana Jones Minute Listeners Crusade, which is our fun place on Facebook. And there's all sorts of discussions about Maharaja skateboards and all the bullets that we've actually taken and not dodged.
Right. Yeah, the place is riddled.
Yep. All sorts of heart stomps.
Oh yeah.
So please, yes, come and get your heart stomped daily or even more often if you need to. Visit us there. And of course, please come back tomorrow for minute 93 of Temple of Doom here on the Indiana Jones Minute.